Rick Shaw here on the 10th of May 2023. Excuse me again. We're having a nice morning. It was pretty warm. Last night we had some major thunder going on. I mean, it was really loud, booming. Sounded like low thunder, and just shaking the heck out of the house. We had lightning, but it was pretty far off. But sky over on this end was clear. It was coming out of the southeast where the thunder was coming from, but towards the northwest, it was clear. You could see some stars and the moon and everything. So there's our moon. It's kind of waning. But it's kind of neutral. Not too bad. Get my little pups out to walk some. I was watching a little bit of the news and watching these dragon queens, and I noticed something on there about these folks. You know, they got to have this audience with the kids and all this, and people aren't having it. I've been seeing school boards around where they're voting these knuckle brains that allow this crap out. These college-educated weirdos. So they're stopping them, but now they're bringing in the good dragon queens. Oh no, we can't have this sort of stuff. You know, so they're going to try to endear these ones to you. You know, they're just coming at you at all fronts with this stuff. There's no good dragons, guys. There aren't any. There's no such thing. You know, it's just the way it goes. Morning. It's just crazy. Another thing I noticed too, you know, just checking the news and something, whenever I see something on Facebook that I put up and they knock it down right away, I believe it to be the truth anymore. Same with YT and the rest of these knuckleheads. But one thing that really gets me is you look at all these religions around the world. You got your Buddhists, you got your Hindus, you got your Muslims, got all these kind of folks. But they only seem to pick on Christianity. You ever notice that one? Satan knows. He knows. And there's Satan. He's a firm believer in the good Lord. That's for sure. He knows all about it. He just thinks he can win. And it's a little bit goofy if you ask me. You know, they really are picking on Christians now. I would like to see, I put a little thing on the last video in the back end, but you know, they want to sneak this stuff into your kids where they can not tell mom. I remember years ago it was with the abortion pill that you didn't have to tell your parents. You know, these nurses in the school, they couldn't give your kid an aspirin. They'd have to get an okay, but they can give them an abortion pill and all this. Well, I always asked, who's raping those kids? But now they want to get them where they cut their boobs off or cut their winky off, start giving them hormones and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. It's this big push for this stuff, guys. This is all written in the book. If you look at the back of the book, it talks about this kind of stuff. And it's just really getting too far. Folks got to stand up and just say, it should be at every school board meeting. Yeah, every single one of them. All these places that are pulling this stuff. And these folks are just satanic. You know, to even think that something like that's okay. You know, these are your babies. These are your children. And I wouldn't want somebody trying to talk my little daughter or my little son to get something drastic like that. But what they need to do then, you know, it's, like I said, I put this in the back of a thing on there. What do you think these liberals would do if they started baptizing kids in school? Teaching them about Christ, baptize them in school, but you can't tell your parents. What do you think they'd do? They'd be Antifa the cities like crazy. They'd probably start to be mad bombers, all kinds of stuff. Their heads would explode. They would scream, they would cry, they would holler. It's just like when they had this Aunt Jemima and the Indian girl on the butter, making such a big fuss, tearing statues down. You know, they got to remove the history, guys. They have to definitely remove the history, and that's something. But I want to talk about something else too. I just talked to a buddy yesterday. I haven't talked to him for over a year, and he's decided to pull the trigger and just stay here. He's been here on and off for years. He's got a Filipino wife, and he's decided he went back. I believe it was the end of last year. I think he said October, November. Sold his house, so now he's here, going around because the convent's done, and he's looking at houses, and he says he just can't believe the crap and how much they want for it. You know, he's got a budget. His budget is around $5 million that he wants to pay for a house. And one thing I would recommend too, if you have married a Filipina, you're not allowed to own anything. Get yourself buy the place. You can put it in yours and your sweetie's name, but then lease the ground, just for an extra added protection, for sure. But he was saying he was going around and just can't believe it. And I said, hey, we did the same thing. We went around. I saw workmanship that a 5-year-old could have done a better job. And it's just seeing what you get. And then we went to some of the really big builders, and one of them, they had houses that people couldn't pay for, so they were like repoed. And these places were only a matter of a couple years, and the kitchen floor was gone. You know, just absolute crap. And you see the blocks they use. And he was telling me maybe that place that you had built for you, maybe that's the best there is. And I said, no, you know something? Build it yourself. He was in construction for many years. And I said, you're better off. He says, yeah, but I'm old and beat up. Yeah, no, you get the Filipinos to do the work. You just stand there and you're the superintendent, foreman, whatever you want to call it, and make sure that your place gets done right. You know, because they're going to build these places. These guys pick up these blocks and they fall apart in their hand, and they just grab another. They don't say nothing to anybody. That's not the Filipino way. If people like me, when I was on the job, if I saw a problem, I said something to somebody. You know, I remember I was watching them. I was working at a inserting place for mail marketing, and I saw that they were having a problem with the way they were inserting something, and came up with a little device that fixed that. And man, oh boy, they were happy as a lark. They don't do that here. They keep their trap shut, and they get so afraid of their little nothing job that they're going to lose it, when they'd be far better off losing it and just saying, heck with this place. It's just like when I worked at the call center here. They started hiring their buddies and their friends. When I was in there, if somebody couldn't speak English, no, sorry. And they said, well, in my heart, no, absolutely not. Go learn some more English and come back next year. I didn't snow them, told them like it was. And now I'm seeing that it's going downhill because they got somebody hiring that's a soft touch, and oh, but it's a Filipino, we got to help them. No, that's not helping anybody. You'll destroy your company. But it's just the kind of way it goes. You get these jobs here because your cousin or your third cousin removed, and they bring them in. Not the best person. They don't seem to want to bring the best people in. And I also noticed here, they'll promote the biggest loser. They will. They'll find the worst tyrant of the bunch and promote them, because they figure if that person browbeats their workers, they'll have a better company. And this is the way it goes. You know, it's just the way this place goes. So, like I told my buddy, I said, you know, you need to just build it yourself. And there's people here who've done it. Just get out of letting them Filipino do it, because if they find something wrong, they're not going to say nothing. They're just going to keep on building, because that's their job. So it is a shame, but it's just the way it is here, guys. It's it's their culture. I don't think it's going to change. It's been so long. You keep saying this place, it's going to pick up. It's going to be the Tiger of the Orient. This is going to happen. And you know something? Every year, it doesn't. I don't care who you got in or what you do. It's not going to change. It's just not the nature of this place. And this place could be the biggest powerhouse. I mean, one of the world leaders. But I've said this many times. The biggest enemy of the Filipino is the Filipino himself. They can't see somebody else. They keep talking about this crab mentality. The crab, he's climbing up a thing to get up to the top. The other crab's grabbing him and pulling back down. And it's 10 years here, guys. 10 years. It's exactly what's happened. It just drives them nuts to see somebody doing better than them. When if they'd all pull on the same end of the rope, this place would take off. But now we're doing our visa thing and all this, and more taxes, more payments, more government, all over the place. And you don't find out until you get there. They don't care if they mess up your ticket and you lose $1,000. What do they care? They're doing their job. This is how this works. I've heard of some people went out, no, they can't go, sorry. So they lost their plane ticket and they got to buy another one. 2 people told me that already, Americans that were traveling. And they don't care. Where's their compassion then? Where's the compassion then? They'll hire a numbhead, but they don't have compassion for the regular people, because they got the big hat on. And they're boss of the applesauce, these guys. And the taxes, every time you go somewhere, they just bang their own people all the time. Government just gets bigger, and they keep talking about, it's just like everywhere, like in the U.S. Same thing. Government gets bigger, you get screwed as a little person, and everything's to save the children. Oh, we're going to make it so wonderful. It's going to be a utopia. Don't buy into that stuff. The best thing government can do is get out of your face. Leave you alone. Leave people alone. Let them work on their own stuff. But no, they can't. You don't own anything anymore. You've got taxes on everything. You buy a house, you're renting it. You're renting as long as you live. And then when you croak, they're going to take a boatload of your money. They just don't stop. And this is all okay with them because they're stealing it. And they know the loopholes to hide it. Look in the states, all these congressmen, they're so rich with their insider trading and all their deals they make, and we're going to give you this much if you vote for that. And they put up these monstrous bills that nobody can read. That's got all their little pet stuff in there. Let's go ahead and give them. Look. I laughed at this. I saw a thing here. This is a while ago of this Hunter Bidens. No matter what he's doing with his laptop and all the rest of that stuff, okay, just leave that alone. But I seen some of his paintings. Okay, my little boy Mumu drew a picture of him and myself, and it was better than Hunter Biden's painting that he sold for, I don't know, $2.5 million. Come on, guys, that's a payoff. It's just like when they do their books. When they do their books, okay, hey, you want me to vote this way? You got to buy 20,000 of my books. Get me on the #1 bestsellers list. Not that anyone's reading this crap. You get a book from Hillary. Who wants to read anything from this person? I wish she went to break through the glass ceiling and never came back. But these people are the gift that keeps on giving. You can't get rid of them. They never want to retire. They don't want to leave. They're going to do this for the rest of their lives. And it seems like those guys live a hell of a long time. I don't know, maybe they get recloned. I'm not sure. I've seen pictures of old Bill Clinton. He looked so bad. He looked like he was on death's door. And then you see him a couple weeks later. He looks perfect. He's fine. You know, I just don't get these people. When do you think that their money is enough? Is what gets me. But like I say, though, if you guys come here, get yourself, if you got any kind of construction ability at all, build the house yourself. And I would recommend, like my buddy Ronald that sells the blocks. I know his company's got good blocks, and they're building companies all over. I think they're going to do one in Medora now. That's okay to have them blocks. Or pour concrete courses. You know, these guys are good at mixing the concrete. Have them mix the courses, put the rebar in there, put your forms up, pour a course, and just keep building up. You can put your electric and plumbing in the wall, no problem. You know, pour it right in there. Or surface mount. I always said if I was going to do anything like that, I'd surface mount it. Maybe build a little box to put it in. Something like that, a trough. And that would be pretty good. But we're back at the ranch. I'm gonna let you go. There's a cool picture. There's the house with the little bit of moon there. But I'm gonna let you go. Our buddy Doc is gonna be today. It's Wednesday. He should be getting out sometime today. He's 6 hours behind us here. So I hope we're seeing some nice pictures of him back at his house, and that he gets something good to eat instead of hospital food. Hospital food is definitely not the way to go, guys. Although I actually had here in the one hospital, I kind of liked the food. I was in Binion Doctors Hospital. And that was, I thought the food was pretty good there. Now, when we went to the other hospital, the kids had dengue, all three of them. So we had to keep them in the hospital for a week. They were getting IV fluids, make sure, and they fought it off just fine. But the food there was, it was a new hospital. A doctor from Binion Doctors Hospital said, hey, we don't have room here. We're going to send you over there. Okay, great. It's right by our house. Horrible. Horrible, horrible. And then while I was there, I could walk home. It was only a couple miles. But what they do over in that area, they shut the streets off. You couldn't get through no more. They close it off. That's fine if you're in a car. Yeah, you can drive 2 miles and go around. But when you're walking, that was absolutely horrible. So, but it's the way they do things here. So I'm going to let you go. Don't forget to pray for each other. And this is Rick Shaw out.